Welcome back, everybody, to the Even Your Dynasty show.
We just got breaking news in.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Even Your Dynasty show. It was a tough week. It's a bad week when I get to recycle a thumbnail that I made last week for their horrible play last week. And that's where we're at. So how you guys doing?
Nothing like it, buddy.
Together, we are the San Francisco Rockies.
Yes.
Together, we're depressed.
Hey, what's the Rockies record since the All-Star break?
Better than
It's better than the Giants. It is.
Jesus.
Not even kidding.
Well,
Oh,
after
man.
last week's episode, all I can really say is
again.
Yeah, this is where we're at. So I'm just I'm sorry, everybody, that comes for the positivity, but it's probably not going to be a ton of it today. It was another week of terrible baseball. We will talk a little minor leagues at some point. How about that? We'll try and bring up there is something positive that's going to be happening this weekend. So we're going to share that with everybody that didn't already see my post about it or NBC Sports Bay Area's post about it. So there is some positivity that we will share later. But overall, talking Giants baseball on the Big League Club, it was another terrible week. I mean, they kicked it off since our last live show. They lost 2 of 3 to Tampa. Really could have won all 3 games. I mean, they really just gave away 2 of those games. It felt like. Oh yeah, sorry everybody. Dan went full Ronnie Lott and is trying to cut his finger off. So give him a second.
It's not from watching the Giants, though. We promise.
Yeah, he's not harming himself. Everybody, it's all good. So they dropped 2 of 3 to Tampa. Then they go to San Diego. They take the first game. It was good to see that, and lost 3 games in pretty ugly fashion, quite frankly. I mean, it was just not a lot of decent baseball being played during that. So after another 2-5 week, they are in a full-on free fall. They have, I believe, the worst record in baseball since the All-Star break. And So what did you see this week, Ricky?
Well, I mean, like the meme said, it's pretty much Groundhog's Day. I mean, it's just a lot of the same stuff over and over and over. It's just like beating your head against a wall. It's just sloppy baseball. Guys not making accurate throws to first. Guys not hitting cutoffs. Guys taking too long to pick up a ball in foul territory while the ball is in play. And you got runners running all over the bases. You got Patrick Bailey popping up with the bases loaded. Just got a whole lot of nothing other than just very, very, very ugly baseball. Like I said, it's like the San Francisco Rockies. Like, I don't know who this team is. There's really no explanation for it other than whatever the heck is going on in the clubhouse. But, unfortunately, we won't really have an answer until, once the season concludes. But there's some positive news.
Yeah.
Bryce Eldridge, once again.
Just routine for him, man, at this point. He, for anybody that was watching the game, obviously we didn't see that because we just went live, but earlier I was watching the game and he ripped like 112.5 mile per hour single up the middle. Next at bat, lined out to left field with 106 off the bat, then drew a walk, and then now he just hit a 2-run bomb. So, and which leads me to believe it's a late inning one because it's his 4th at bat, and I think they were just tied in like the 7th or 8th. Guy seems to have a knack for the moment, which has been really good. He has do you know how many RBIs he's at this season? I know he has like 46 or 47. Now that he just hit this, it's probably like 49 in San Jose or Sacramento in a pretty short period of time, which has been super impressive. I mean, I think he has, I know in 81 games, now it's 82, he has 21 homers.
He is up to 69 total. So kind of like what I sent you guys the other day. He's definitely on track for an 80 RBI season. 25 bombs is totally within reach.
Yeah.
So I mean that's an excellent season if you play the full year, and he missed about a month of baseball.
Yeah.
So I mean it's impressive stuff, man.
But
I mean,
guys,
20.
I was gonna say sorry, but people on X are saying that he's Patrick Bailey with more pop.
That was the most wild take I think I've ever seen. The poor man Nick
People need
Kurtz
help,
killed
man.
me. The poor man Nick Kurtz is what killed me, because I'm like, when Nick Kurtz was 20 years old, like Bryce, he sure as hell wasn't facing 25 to 28-year-olds in AAA and good prospects. He was facing dudes in over at Wake Forest in college. Like, come on, guys.
I sent you guys the Bryce bomb if you want to pull it up.
Okay, yeah, we'll check it out.
Oh, we pulled one.
Hey, he can do that. I'm actually more encouraged by him going to center and left field as far as it playing in Oracle, just
Sure.
because the ball carries better to that part of the yard, and the fact that he can sit there and consistently hit balls, 104 to 108 miles per hour or more, to the opposite way, center field, etc. Like, that's impressive. I mean, the pulled balls, he's got such big power that when he gets it, it's going to go anyway. But
Yeah.
just the carry he gets on balls to center, left center, it's really incredible. I mean, you see it with Devers a little bit. He's hit a couple the opposite in Oracle, and it's like Bryce has that kind of power. And now, obviously, pitch recognition, things like that, need some work, but the pop is clearly there.
Yeah, for sure.
And he could get stronger because he's 20 years old.
That's kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
is that his
man.
prime? Good Lord.
Yes. And Harris, I agree. Johnny Level hit his second home run yesterday. That thing was like at his chin. I don't know if you guys looked. Roger Munter posted the face on of that on his X, and that's a crazy top hand to hit that ball. Like, he had no business hitting that, and he absolutely blasted it. I don't remember what the exit velocity was. I think it was like 106 or 108 or something like that, but he spun on it.
Was it Level that somebody was bashing him, saying like he looks like he'd be a backstop and he wasn't a good infielder and stuff? What was that all about?
No, I think they were just saying his body type. It just kind of his build, because he is kind of built like a fire hydrant a little bit. And I think it's just a concern, but that did make me chuckle.
Yes, Tom, they absolutely made the right call.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, hey, chat, this week, because it is kind of it's another kind of crappy week of baseball. If you guys have anything in particular you want to talk about, that is, whether it's related to the Giants, we'll talk a little bit about what's going on there. Obviously, we've got some news as far as, Landon Roop is probably going to be done for the year. Carson Wisenhunt's going to come back up. Blade Tidwell, unfortunately, suffered some sort of shoulder injury that they don't know exactly yet, but he felt something in a bullpen. He got shut down. Who knows if it's for the year or not. So that's unfortunate. McRae's back down. I don't know if I said it, but Matos is back up. Obviously, he had a couple hits today, although one of them was pretty generously ruled a hit for his triple. And did I get it? Oh, Tang went down. So Dan was crying tears.
I was.
Today.
I needed counseling this week.
I mean, in all seriousness, though, it is unfortunate because his stuff does look much improved. In short instances, he still has the issue of needing to get his control down, but he does look like a guy who could be, more of a middle relief option and give you like 3 good innings one time through the lineup, because his stuff is nasty. You got to give him that. He's not like I don't really put him in the Tristan Beck category, who is a lot more limited as a pitcher. Tang definitely has the stuff to be a starter. He just, I don't know if he'll ever figure out the command issues is really what it comes down to, but he has a legit repertoire. So he could be a guy that, you know, maybe we see a little bit of next year in some kind of role like that. But the one problem the Giants have right now is they have a lot of these AAA, 4A type arms who are kind of stuck in that middle relief type role and aren't quite there ready to take over a starting role, not like on the same level as a Wizen Hunt or a Landon Root. And I mean, even Hayden Birdsong's kind of going through it right now, even in AAA, you know, struggling with the command a little bit still.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Birdsong can absolutely can't throw strikes right now. It's been kind of a problem. You know, they sent him down to work on that, and I mean, I think he had 5 walks yesterday. Couldn't just struggle to put guys away. Yeah, he only got through like 4 innings, and it's just seems like every start he's made, you've been seeing 3-4 walks, 5 walks yesterday, and it's got to figure it out, or he's going to end up in the pen, which is unfortunate because he has a really good pitch mix. Ariel says thoughts on Parks Harbor. I view Parks Harbor almost exactly how I view Charlie Zacconi, in the sense that like older prospect, high A, absolutely destroying the ball in that league. Really wish he was up in Double A, getting a little bit better competition, because it's hard. I mean, when you're guys that are 2 or 3 years older than the average age of a level, you know, it's like I want to believe in them. I really want to think that like this guy's legit and like a great prospect, but like I want to see it against tougher competition. So
For sure. Yeah, we talked about it the other day. Charlie absolutely deserves a call or a promotion.
Yeah. I mean, Charlie's 25, man. It's go time.
Yeah.
You need to stop messing around with this high A stuff. I mean, he spent plenty of time there last year. He needs to go up. Harbor is still 23, but he's another guy who spent time in college and he kind of needs a little bit more of a challenge for sure. I wouldn't say his power numbers really jumped off the table with New York, but now he's got 2 or 3 since joining Eugene. So it'd be kind of nice to see him get a little taste of Double A before the season ends. But the bat looks polished. I heard from somebody up in Eugene, actually, he's been working with a lot of the guys that recently came up from San Jose and working on little stuff with their swings. Specifically, Jose Ramos, who's a guy who's bounced back and forth between San Jose and Eugene, that he was kind of pulling him aside and kind of teaching him some things. So that's kind of cool to hear. But ultimately, a guy on that level, you kind of like to see go up a little higher.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I for some reason I thought he was 24 right now. Well, okay, well that makes me feel a little bit better. I know he doesn't pull the ball a ton. That is one thing I've noticed. Like he doesn't get it airborne to the pull side a ton, which is probably going to limit his power a bit, especially as a righty in this ballpark, if he ever makes it down the road. So, I mean, that is one thing to think about. I know that was a concern we all had with like Jacob Christian, but he's shown this season that he can pull the ball quite a bit. So, you know, less of an issue there. But we had someone else ask, Rob asked, what do we think about Drew Cavanaugh? He says in San Jose, he is actually up in Richmond. He got promoted to Eugene, and then he got a second promotion. He's actually played at all 4 levels this season because they temporarily pulled him up to Sacramento for, I don't know, a couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. Went back to Eugene, played in Eugene, hit the ball pretty well in Eugene. Now he's up in Richmond, another earned promotion for him. Really nice to see. The way I've put it is, and I don't think he's necessarily got like star potential or anything like that, but he has the best starter potential of any catcher in the Giants system. I see guys like Sagasti, you know, O'Neill Perez, you know, some of those guys. Like I think maybe they have like backup potential. Did you say Bailey? I thought I heard something.
You just read my mind. That's all.
Yeah. I see a lot of these guys that I think could be really solid backups. Cavanaugh has the bat though, and the glove is developing. These other guys have really, you know, flatlined with the bat a little bit. You know, Sagasti's showing some growth. Like he's hitting for a little more power. But still hitting like 210 or 215. Not a ton to write home about in AA, which, I mean, I get it. It's a really tough league, but he's been there all year, last year, I believe, or a chunk of last year and this season. So you would want to see some more growth there. With Cavanaugh, he's just hit everywhere he's gone. And I feel like he's got a good arm behind the plate. If he can keep developing as a receiver, he's got a chance to be a pretty good starter. So,
yeah,
and I
for sure.
mean, the promotion to Richmond tells us that they obviously think something of him, because it wasn't just like when he got bumped up to Sacramento just to fill in as an injury replacement. Like, no, he had a little bit of time in Eugene and actually hit well, and actually, you could argue, earned it. I think we all thought he was going to spend the rest of the season in Eugene, but he did earn the promotion. And, the Giants very clearly have a hole at catcher within the organization. And, maybe they see it as a possible platoon partner or somebody to put a little heat on Bailey to step his offensive game up. I mean, I wouldn't count on that early next season at all, but something in the rear view mirror, at least for, late next season. If Cavanaugh has another hot start to his season, you might see him up a little earlier than you'd think.
Nothing wrong with a little pressure.
Yeah. He's got, for anybody wondering, in San Jose this season, hit 293 with a 906 OPS. He had 6 homers there, hit 6 more in Eugene, hit 298 with a, oh my God, my math's going to fail me, 903 OPS in Eugene. And now he's up in, I mean, he's only played 2 games, so I'm not going to dive too deep in on the numbers in Richmond, because he's only played 2 games there, but very well deserved the promotions he received. I think he was a 17th round pick, so looks kind of like a little bit of a steal for them. Fingers crossed. Obviously, a long way to go for him, but he is only 23. In Richmond, he's on track, and that's what we want to see. So I also would not anticipate seeing him next season. I think he's going to need at least one more full season in the minors, and kind of go from there. Maybe sometime 2027. You see him in San Francisco, but a bit off still.
Yeah, give or take. Yeah. He did get the system tore. It's a perfect way to describe it.
Yeah. It's the first guy to play at all 4 levels since Bryce Eldridge last season. Prior to that, I don't know. That might be a while.
That's pretty good company to be in.
Yeah. So why
Wade
is he
Meckler
prospect?
No.
Dan's guy Wade Meckler was probably the last one. I think he might have done that.
Did he? Because I feel like he didn't start in San Jose, but he actually did 4 levels because he went to San Francisco.
Yeah, I think he did that all within his first full season of pro ball, I believe.
Yeah.
I
think it was within a year of drafting or starting, at least. We're checking for Dan. We're fact checking this for Dan.
Yeah, you're gonna make
2024. He played
Ariel rub that on my face.
He played for 6 teams in 2024. Oh wait, no, that's. Oh no, we were right. So he actually, Wade played across all 5 levels because he played Complex League. 2024, 2023, he started in High A.
Okay.
He went High A, Double A, Triple A, the majors. So 4 levels.
Send him back down to High A.
Yeah. Crazy. So, any other guys you guys want to touch base on? We're gonna. I'm sorry, everybody. Like I said, this week it's gonna be kind of a bummer. Giants didn't do well, but I did mention some positivity actually while the chat's kind of thinking about what they want to.
Let's talk about this weekend.
Yeah, so we said this weekend there's going to be some there is something good. If you guys saw my post today, I gave the Giants some credit, and it is the fact that they are televising the most watchable product in the Bay Area, or the most watchable baseball team in the Bay Area, and they are going to televise the San Jose Giants on Friday and Sunday this week. So for those of you that do want to see these kids play a little bit, I know you watch the minor league updates, you guys see the highlights and stuff there. Go check it out. There's a ton of great players there. Currently, I think if you go off Baseball America's rankings, Dakota Jordan is still hurt, unfortunately. So I won't really count him, and I don't know who is going to end up pitching. But as of right now, you have their number 5 prospect, number 6 prospect, although Keelan's hurt as well. Number 16, if Jacob Bresnahan throws, which he might. I don't think he's thrown yet this week, which means he's probably going to be in line sometime this weekend. So hopefully it's not Saturday when they're not televising. Yeah, so go check out Brezzy pitch. Keener Martinez might throw in one of those games. Argenis Kayama, he struggled a little bit. You may see him. Him and Keener have been kind of, piggybacking off each other in starts. Luis De La Torre, he threw today, so unfortunately you guys aren't going to catch him. Trevor Cohen's down there, a bunch of other guys, Robert Hipwell, Lisbel Diaz, Johnny. I think I mentioned Johnny Level, obviously. Jeremiah Jenkins is down there. You guys might see Junior Marte. I don't think he's thrown yet this week. So there's a couple really solid pitching prospects that you might see come this weekend. So make sure you guys check that out. I promise they are a infinitely more fun product to watch than the Giants currently. Actually, hit for some power, extra base hits, work, hit for high averages, steal bags, play some solid defense. There's a lot of good stuff there. Throw the ball, pitch really well. Lots to like. It is not an accident that they are like 35 games over 500. So
play good ball, and a lot of them are friends of the show. Win-win. Why is Jesus only playing DH? Sorry, I want to answer that real quick. He had an injured shoulder, didn't he?
I did not hear the specifics, but I did hear that he had an injury that he was dealing with.
I believe it was a shoulder, but apparently he's going to start catching soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it was Susan Slusser was reporting on that the other day, just a couple days ago.
Yeah, that's all that was. Yeah, this weekend should be fun. Harris had a couple bring-ups.
Mm-hmm.
One, since we are kind of going off of, the system talk a little bit. Call up today and add to the 40, made his debut. Yoel Peguero, he actually looked very good. Just want to give him props.
Is it Yoel? Is that how they? Okay. Glad I heard that. I would have butchered that.
Yes, injured shoulder. Okay. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's what I thought. And then Harris also asks if we have any interviews coming from us pretty soon.
Define pretty soon. So to answer that, with the season still going, it is pretty tough because a lot of these guys, they're going to want to focus on their year and all that stuff, which I definitely respect. I would personally prefer they focus on their game, worry about interviews in the off season. So probably nothing now in the immediate future, unless we pull someone that's not currently like playing in the organization. So to answer that question, probably not for a month or two, but this off season, we're hoping to make that kind of like a regular staple where we're having someone every week or two new on the show. We've had a lot of guys say that they're interested in coming on. A few people that are kind of up in the air that we kind of feel like we might be able to get on, but you never know until they commit. And sometimes they do commit and then they ghost you and then they get traded twice in the same season. So,
honestly, I would expect at least 15 this offseason.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a fair number.
Bribe them. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it'll probably be late September at the earliest. But, a lot of these guys, they finish the year, they want to go home, see family and all that. So,
and say, unless me and Ricky go out to San Jose or something.
Yeah. Got to make that quick if we're going to do that one. But
I'm down.
Yeah,
You are, bro.
I would,
Let's go.
I would expect a lot though. I mean, kind of been in touch with a few of the Giants draft picks from this season. Some of those guys that are already up in San Jose. So there's a few there, and then just a handful of guys throughout all the different levels. So we'll see. We don't want to tease anything yet until we can lock stuff in when these guys, like Cody said, are freed up. You know, these guys are on, 6 games a week, have one day off, and the last thing they want to be doing on their day off is spending time interviewing. A lot of them are trying to like go out and kind of just relax for a little bit. So we're not trying to bug those guys and create any bad relationships there. So
yeah,
gotta wait on that stuff.
I think there's probably 2 on the big league team that we could interview this year.
Yeah,
possibly.
I think 2 for sure.
Yeah,
and you guys know who the 2 are.
Yep, sir.
They both have the same first name.
Yeah,
that's
Elliot?
your hint.
Just kidding. There's actually a third then if we're going off, because you guys are. I'm thinking of another person.
Well, there's another one too. There's so maybe 3.
Yeah, maybe 3. Non-player
Same
support
letter.
staff.
We'll go off that.
Yeah, so we're gonna, we haven't, like I said, during the season it's pretty tough. We haven't gone too deep in that. I know there's some former players that we might.
There's a couple cool ones.
Yeah, we're working on.
Yeah.
I've had a few like scouts and things like that follow me that we'll reach out. We'll see what we can do. As I said, during the season it's a little tough, but when the off season hits, hopefully we can make that a regular thing, because we don't want to just sit here and talk about 9 million rumors and that's it for the entire off season. We like to bring you guys new stuff, and there is some, we have some things we're working on. We're gonna make Kelby.
Far bigger name than Kelby, I promise you that.
Yeah. Dan Ugla.
Oh my god.
Maybe if you're a Marlins fan.
Yeah. We have, and Tom, we don't know who's going to be in the Arizona Fall League yet. They'll usually announce that right after the year. But yeah, we have some different things we're going to work on with the show, different ideas that we're working on. So we'll hopefully be able to kind of, air quotes, present that to you guys early in the off season, kind of what we're trying to do, because we want to bring new content to you guys next year. I mean, we love coming on here doing our live shows every week. Nothing's going to change there. We love doing the weekly minor league updates during the season. Nothing's going to change there, but we're trying to find ways to, bring different content. That's not just up here, us sitting up here bitching and moaning about the team losing, 5 games this week. So we want to keep bringing you guys new stuff. So
would this be a good time to bring up that thing I proposed to you guys this past week?
Which one?
The merch.
Yeah, absolutely.
So want to throw this out there to you guys, especially because there's 100+ people watching and commenting right now. So I'm not gonna give away some that I'm working on. I'm not gonna give that away yet. That's still in the works. But just hypothetically speaking here, would any of you be interested if we were to have maybe 10, 12, 15 first editions of the Even Your Dynasty show hats available? Just curious, would anybody be interested if we were to make those available for sale? And mind you, all of the funds that are earned from stuff like this, and future ideas and projects are all being reinvested back in the show to bring more content, more ideas. So I just want to throw a feeler out there because I'm kind of handling this on the back end with a few other projects. So if I was to, get a few hats available and we were to have a link or whatever, would you guys be interested? I just want to feel it out for a little bit.
Yeah.
Bumper stickers, I can do that.
We'll slap the logo on this.
And Nick says yes. Jen says not hats, but other merch for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good to know. You'll be happy then with my idea, Jen.
Yeah, we have the hoodies. Obviously, I think you guys have seen them in the past. So that's something that'll probably be added to. So our goals with a lot of this, like we said, we absolutely do not do this to try and make money. This is not our goal. Our goal is to like reach out, or be able to like do all these fun things with the interviews and all that stuff. And we want to be able to like go to places like Arizona, hit the complex league, go to, different sites when they're playing on the road, or go to different minor league parks. Just try and reinvest the money to bring you guys cool content like that. So that's kind of the goal. So if it's something you guys are interested in, definitely, we want to keep bringing stuff to you guys. So, let Dan know if you guys have any ideas. Shoot him a message on X or on IG or any of that stuff, or you can shoot me a message. That works too. I think if you want to look up Dan, I think it's like Giants Most Hated Fan 97.
No, I'm being nice on X now, so you guys can message me, Kman Dan EYD. But yeah, I mean, I'm not. Should I just tell them what I'm doing, or
I don't care.
keep it a secret?
It's kind of a depressing show today, so just go for it, man. Have
stuff
fun.
Guys, coming soon. Probably, I'm aiming by, October. There's gonna be a EYDShow.com. So I'm building the site for us. It's gonna have a merch store.
.net.
True. Somebody took .com for some reason. It'll probably be EYDShow.net, but forgot about that. But yeah, there's gonna be a website for the show. You're gonna get, all the YouTube updates every time Cody drops something. You get the IG updates when Ricky drops something. There's gonna be a merch store. Like I'm working on a lot. They got me doing my IT tech.
This is the goal, Tom.
That is the goal.
Yeah. We literally, I don't want to pocket any of it. That's not any of our goals here. We want to just keep reinvesting it into you guys, because this is fun. The reward for us is doing stuff, like that's getting to talk with the players and all that. So yeah, that is absolutely the goal.
Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah, if there's any other types of merch that you guys are interested in, though, just let me know. Because right now I'm thinking, like Eric said, stickers, hats, hoodies, shirts, beanies. But if there's anything else you guys want to, just let me know. But yeah, that's the ultimate goal. Use these funds, reinvest it back in the show, provide better content. Ricky doesn't care about the money. I don't care about the money. Cody doesn't care about the money. Like, that's not important to us.
It would literally just be for more in-person interviews. Like they said, down in spring training.
Yeah.
That's all it would be for sure.
Yeah. So, all right. We got any baseball talk? I know someone mentioned Yoel Peguero.
Peguero looked good, bro.
Yeah, he looked good. I know I saw a breakdown of him. He's obviously had a really solid last, I think it was about 22 innings or so in AAA. Seemed to fix his command issues. I think he was pitching to about a low 2.3-ish ERA in that stretch. I know one of those, I don't know, Pitching Ninja or whatever the heck, those analytics that likes to measure their, the quality of a pitch. They love his slider shape. One of them I saw graded it at like a 77 out of 80, which means it's just a truly elite pitch. So, I mean, if he can throw strikes, if he can keep it in the zone, like you're looking at a guy that can be, potential back end reliever. The command issues have obviously been a problem. We'll see. I mean, that's exactly what the rest of the season is for. I mean, just give him a chance, give Wisenhunt a chance, give Matos a chance, give Gilbert a chance. I suggested it earlier. I'm like, and listen, I love Dom Smith. Everybody, like, I think I want to keep him around. Now, granted, this probably wouldn't do you any favors for keeping him around for next year, although I'm not sure they really could anyway with Devers and Bryce. But frankly, if we're being honest, like the Giants for the rest of the season should probably have like Ramos DH. You should have Gilbert in right and Matos in left and Devers at first, and just play it out. It's a 34 game sample size. See what you've got. Turn your attention to 2026. They're not playing for anything this season at this point. Like nothing is going to come out of it. I mean, this team is going to have to go like 20 games over 500 in the last 34 games if they want to make the playoffs, which, I mean, I'm not like a mathematician here, but I think that's like 27-7. So it ain't happening. So just play the kids, see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely an evaluation period. I know half the team seems deflated and wants the season to end already, but this is a time to see what you got and see who's in it when things are at their absolute worst and who's not. I mean, there's a lot of lifeless players out there right now, and this is a time like watching Piguero. I mean, this is the perfect time to get an evaluation going on him at the major league level because you know you can throw 102 and you have just a little bit of movement, and you can throw one other pitch and change speeds a little bit. I mean, that plays in the big leagues, and that could be a back end reliever for you next year if he does show that the command is there consistently. So, these guys are playing for jobs next season, come spring training. So it's absolutely the time to do that. The last thing we need to do is be running out a bunch of vets and even like we've said before, get Wilmer Flores out of there, put him on the IL, get Justin Verlander. What more do we need to see?
Yes,
Verlander
sir.
and Flores are not going to be here next season. Get an evaluation on other guys. I would rather run Kai Tang out there the rest of the season every fifth day and just see if he figures it out a little bit more and gets the command down a little bit better than watch Verlander struggle and give up 7 earned runs in a meaningless game against a team in your division that's 10 games ahead of you right now, if not worse. It's at that point, just get everybody in there that you can. I don't want to see Gilbert or Matos at this point resting for 3-4 consecutive games. Get these guys in there any way you possibly can. And like Cody said, even with Dom Smith as good as he's looked and as much as he's earned playing time, throw Ramos at DH, have Devers continue getting working at first base. It's gotten a little bit better. And then continue to play your young guys out in the outfield and let them play as much as possible, because what else are you possibly doing at this time of the year? Like I said, Dom Smith, Wilmer, and Verlander, none of those guys are under contract next season. So there's really no point in trying to get an evaluation going on those guys in meaningless baseball games. So,
Yeah. No, yeah. And I mean, you guys know how I feel about Dom Smith. Obviously, he's been playing great, and I would love to keep him around. It just seems like it's a numbers game, and there's really not much room for him at his position. Some people have floated out the idea of plugging him into a corner outfield position. I think he's got I think it was 3 to 5 innings worth of playing time in his career, and really didn't work out. So, I mean, I can't see that as a realistic possibility, and you're not going to roll with 3 left-handed first basemen / DH next year. You just aren't. So yeah, I mean, that's just the reality, and it's someone like we've been talking about for months now. Give these young guys an extended look, see what you got before you lose them, and those that aren't going to be here next year, just shelf them and just kind of accept that you need these last 34 days or 34 games, I should say, to really evaluate these players that you have before you lose them for nothing. So that's where I'm at. Completely agree with you guys.
Sad reality, unfortunately.
And that's the truth. It really is. I think
this is also the truth.
Yeah.
Just tell them we're doing them a favor.
I was gonna say, I don't know. I mean, Wilmer did hit a bomb the other day, but I mean, for the most part, is he really? Because I mean, he's done nothing but nosedive with his numbers. If anything, it's almost more beneficial for him to stay where he's at, because that OPS continues to nosedive under 700, and yeah, he's looking at about 25 points below league average right now, and it's going further down. So I don't know. I mean, I get that sentiment, but then you look at Verlander. I mean, 7 earned runs in 4 1/3, and he does the normal thing where he can look good for maybe 1 or 2 times through the lineup, and then he just falls apart. So
I think it was funny how Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, as far as like Willie and Devers go, absolutely rack up the home run numbers.
Oh,
Why
for sure.
not? Get Devers to 30 bombs, get Willie to 25, or maybe he goes on a freaking tear and goes up near 32. Why not?
I'm holding my hope, man. That's all I got left for the season. Someone end that stupid draft.
Hey, it's something to root for.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 20. Hey, you know what? With how bad the season was going for Willie Adames, I just, and I get the overall numbers don't stand out. I think he's hit like 223 or 224 right now. But he's had 20 homers, and in about mid-June, it looked like he was going to be lucky to hit about 15 total.
Yeah.
And he's at 20 with 34 games left. So shout out to him for at least riding the ship and being more what they expected. Obviously, August has been kind of forgettable for him. But that
defensively
said,
too, though.
Yeah, defensively he got right as well. But that said, if he hits 2 or 3 more in August, he might be able to go into September within like 7. And he hit 7 in a month, a couple in July. You never know.
It's like I told you guys, he needs to go on one of those Mike Yastrzemski September runs and just crank 8 bombs out of nowhere in the last month.
I don't care how meaningless it is. It wouldn't be meaningless to Giants fans.
No, I'd be happy, dude. That'd be sick. 7
mean,
years, 30 stolen bases, maybe in their career.
No shot. They have like 30 as a team. Let's be real.
Yeah,
it's insane.
The one I saw was I know Waffles shared this with me a couple weeks ago on X. You know who has more stolen bases than any that would lead the Giants in stolen bases if he was on the Giants?
Wasn't it Cal Raleigh?
Yeah, it was Cal Raleigh. A dude with the nickname Big Dumper would have more stolen bases than anybody on the team. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, Brandon. So the Giants have 56 as a team. So unless somebody's going beast mode on the stolen bases, I don't think anybody's coming close to that, because that's pretty rough. They're dead last to nobody's surprise.
They should just every game for the rest of the year pinch run Tyler Fitzgerald for someone in like the 7th or 8th inning and be like, "You are running. We do not care."
Did you see that stat I gave you guys the other day where it was like since July or since the All-Star break, someone around that number, the Giants had attempted 2 steals or more one time up until like this past week. That's like
inexcusable.
A 6-week span. They've attempted to steal 2 bases or steal a base more than twice in one game. One time, bro. Like, what are we doing here?
And then they did it like 2 straight games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Willie saw that and was like, and I took that personally. And he stole like 3 bags that week.
And it's interesting too. You look at the top 10 teams in stolen bases, and there's like only 2 of those teams are not currently a playoff team. Every single one of those teams pretty much has a pretty legit offense and or is a current playoff team right now. So I mentioned it last week. I mean, Josh Naylor has like 20 bags this year, or maybe just a little bit over now, purely off of taking advantage of opportunities, catching pitchers sleeping, and gets an enormous jump. And he's basically jogging into second base, and I've even seen him do it at third base. There's definitely guys that could do that. I mean, I remember the Brandons, Crawford and Belt, used to do that all the time. Now, were they racking up 20 plus bags? No, but they would see their opportunities where a pitcher's sleeping is like, I don't have to worry about them, and they just easily jog in there. It's just smart baseball, and you don't see a whole lot of that going around right now with this team. And that kind of brings me into my next point. I don't know if you guys want to dive into this, but I kind of wanted to dive into the Willie and Melvin thing, because I just feel like whatever side of the fence you're on with that topic, it just sums up what's going on with the team in a nutshell. Whether you think Willie, in yesterday's game in the second inning was yelling at Melvin, or maybe he was venting about something unrelated to Melvin. Just the Giants coaches in the dugout right there, their whole body language and their whole attitude towards him just tells me everything I needed to know. You see Willie passionate about whatever it was he was saying. We still haven't really been able to confirm that. But you see Melvin look at him for all of, 3 seconds, turn around and completely blow him off. You have another Giants coach in the dugout right next to Willie and is just completely not paying attention to him. And I've seen things from Giants fans saying, oh, well, Bob needs to pay attention to the game. BS. Bob doesn't need to watch every single pitch. There's going to be times where he has to have conversations. He's got plenty of coaches that are there to notify of Bob of in-game situations and changes that he may need to make based on matchups or whatever it may be. But it was the second inning. I mean, what is Bob so invested in that he can't spend 2 seconds to listen to his player, one of the supposed leaders on his team? That's a situation where you think your manager would take a little bit more attention to, speak with his player. He just looks like a guy who just straight up does not care.
Yeah, and then a couple things with that. One, the supposed explanation was that he was mad about and had an extended conversation with the umpire, but in his at bat it was a 2-pitch AB where he just had a fly out, so it didn't really make much sense there. And then again, to Daisy May's point with the body language, you can even see like Ramos is kind of like a little uncomfortable and they're kind of hearing all that go down. It's like if you're talking about a supposed, argument in between innings with an umpire, why is your teammate kind of giving off like some uncomfy vibes? Like it just looked like a weird, encounter all around. So I'm not one to, speculate. I'm not one to make some assumptions here, but just based off of body language alone and the situation, like there's definitely more to it. There has to be.
Yeah. Did they mention if it was the home plate umpire that he had the conversation with, or the guy that was at first? Or because I remember the day before he had the umpire had a rough day, the guy at the game before, and I know Willie kind of took the brunt of that. I know, especially his first at bat. Yeah, he had 2 pitches off the plate away, like pretty bad. Get called strikes on him, just kind of changed the dynamic of the at bat a bit. I didn't go back and look at every at bat after that, but I kind of wonder if that was the guy that was like the home plate umpire and he was, chirping him a little bit for the previous game. Like I couldn't. I heard the excuse, but I didn't hear who.
He said it was the home plate umpire in the day of the game. The day of the game that it happened. And that's where I take issue with that. And, I see a lot of Giants fans that just, take these reporters' word for gospel, and all they're doing is echoing exactly what Bob is feeding them. And like, guys, we got to use our noggins a little bit and think outside of the box. Bob Melvin is not going to sit there and say, oh, my starting shortstop, who is one of the highest paid players on the team, he was chewing me out and said, I'm not doing anything, or I'm just sitting here, or whatever it may be. He's not going to say Willie was sitting there chewing him out over something he was frustrated over. That's just not going to happen. Of course, they're going to make something up. Maybe there was something with an umpire that Willie was discussing. And if that's how somebody feels, it is what it is. But all I needed to see was Bob and the Giants' other coaches in the dugout completely blowing off one of their players who is clearly upset about something. Whether it's related to the umpires or not, I still call BS on what the specific thing that was reported to us by, I believe it was like Justice. Mm-hmm. I call major BS because, like Dan said, nobody is getting passionate over a 2-pitch AB where you flew out to the outfield. Like, nobody's getting worked up about that with the umpire or with their manager. That just doesn't make any sort of sense whatsoever. So, and then the other thing is, I saw a lot of people last night blowing off that there's issues with the players in Melvin because Elliot Ramos and Logan Webb have defended him. Well, guess what? What have the players done ever since they defended Bob and he got his extension? They've been the worst team in baseball. They have been lifeless. They have been the most boring, pathetic team that we've seen, even dating back to the Gabe Kapler days, and it's not even close. This team is worse than the Colorado Rockies. There's no fire out of this team. I mean, Logan Webb finally turned in a good start in his last outing. But I mean, prior to that, what did he do to try to stick up for Melvin? I know Chapman was a little bit hurt, so I don't want to harp on him too much, but what did he do to, prove that it's not Melvin's fault or he has a grip on the team? There is no evidence whatsoever that these players are behind the coach. And unfortunately, we won't find anything out until the day that Melvin gets fired, whether it's this off season, mid next season, or the season after.
Yeah. I can't imagine they go into next season with him. I mean, I guess there's a scenario where Posey basically forces them to make a bunch of coaching changes underneath Melvin, but you don't collapse this way and keep your job. I don't care who the manager is. Like, it does not matter. It could be it could have been Bochy. And if a team like collapsed the way they have collapsed this season, everybody would be calling for his job. Like, it doesn't matter. Like,
this is going to be us if we tune in opening day 2026 and Bob Melvin is leading out the San Francisco Giants.
Yep. 100%. I mean, I will have no confidence in the club next season if that's what they roll out. And it's not, they could make all these different moves. They could do things. I know Bob has had success in the past, but like at this point, if they roll out Bob Melvin as the manager next season, I don't know how anybody can watch it and have confidence that he's not going to lose the team and they're just not going to play the same sloppy baseball that they've played for 2 years under him. Nothing is changing. The situational baseball's not gotten any better. Like, it has been the same problems. And it's, as I've said, you either are fixing it or you're allowing it to happen. And it's been 2 years of this.
Couple things. I saw Copes from KNBR, I think it was earlier today, he tweeted out, the NFL would never allow this to happen. NFL teams would be like, no, you're done. Players want to come out and say, oh, we're trying to play for our coach. You're going to see it immediately if that's actually the case. And if it's not, you're going to be done real quick. Obviously, the NFL is a little bit more cutthroat and you're only playing once a week. But it's a perfect example of, pro sports. You can't allow this to keep going on. At some point, the players are going to wake up and look energized on the field. Even if they're doing it in a losing effort, they're still going to fight. We saw it out of, Kyle Shanahan's Niners teams when he first took over the team. That team was getting just punched in the mouth week after week after week, losing every single game. They get a halfway decent quarterback in there and they catch fire and win 5 in a row right off the bat. That's a team that plays for their coach and believes in their coach. There is no sign of anybody believing in Bob Melvin, whether you believe that or not. There's just no sign of it. You ask any San Diego Padres fan and they're going to tell you, we try to warn you guys. He's terrible. The last season he was in San Diego, they had Juan Soto, they had Manny Machado, they had Fernando Tatis, they had a good pitching staff. That was a really talented team, and he completely lost the clubhouse. The Padres go and hire a Cardinals retread as their manager, and they're night and day a functional team and a stable playoff caliber team all of a sudden once again. What does Bob Melvin do? He comes in here. Yeah, he was dealing with a less talented team, last year with the Giants. So we give him a little bit of slack on that. That's totally fair. You say, oh, Melvin was a successful manager with the Diamondbacks and the A's, tons of playoff appearances. Guys want to play for him, and you give him a little slack. You give him Willie Adames, and you give him Matt Chapman on a longer deal. You bring in Rafael Devers, and what do? They continue playing the same level of baseball, and then they nosedive, just like they did last season. There's a consistent theme here with Bob Melvin, and maybe it's him in his older age that he's just lost clubhouses. He's not as energized. Maybe he doesn't want to deal with those relationships with players and trying to fire guys up. Maybe he just doesn't have the energy for that. Who knows? But there's a common denominator here, and it's very clear where it begins. And that's Bob Melvin. It's clear as day that he has no grip on this team.
100%. I mean, I really thought when they brought him in, they would clean up some of the situational stuff and less mental mistakes, all these things. Like, I thought, okay, you're getting a very experienced manager that's done it for a long time. Won, I think, 3 manager of the years. Mm-hmm. Like, I really thought when they hired him, and I mean, he wasn't my first choice. Everyone knows, like, I wanted Stephen Vogt. That was my first choice. But I thought, hey, this is a guy that he's well respected. The club will play just better baseball under him. And it just hasn't. Like, this is 3 straight years for Bob Melvin where his teams have underperformed.
Yeah.
That's kind of that's usually you're done getting to continue managing at anywhere. So I don't know how the team could possibly want to roll it back with him. Now, who do you hire? We talked about it a little bit last week. One name I'll throw in that we didn't talk about last week. I know Ricky and like we the 3 of us have texted about him a few times. George Lombard, I think, would be kind of an interesting one. Yes, former Dodger coach. I know how people think about that. Was their first base coach for, I think, 5 or 6 years, but he has been the Tigers bench coach the last 5 years. He is someone that I think you should take a look at. I know some people have mentioned like Ricky Weeks with the Brewers. I mean, honestly, anybody from the Brewers probably should get a look, but I don't know if he'd be my first choice necessarily. But there's certainly some bench coaches out there. Like when Espada was a bench coach, like there's some guys of that caliber that, if they can't possibly be like less energized than a guy like Bob Melvin. Like, I want someone that's going to come in and light a fire under these guys. I am so tired of the mental mistakes. I'm so tired of bad baseball because it's not a talent issue. I mean, yeah, is it a flawed roster? Sure. It's not a perfectly built roster. They have issues. Cole Dunston brings up Skip Schumacher. He absolutely, Skip Schumacher would be a great candidate. Like, I want somebody that's going to come in and not tolerate just bad baseball in general, like bad, not moving runners over, not getting sacked, getting a guy in from third with less than 2 outs, running into outs all over the bases, kicking balls, throwing stuff away all game. Like, I'm tired of sloppy baseball. That's it. So that's my tangent for the day.
No, and I completely agree. I mean, myself personally, much like you guys, Boma wasn't my first choice, but I obviously wasn't mad at it when they hired him because, I mean, I wanted somebody with more of like an old school mindset to come in and fix a lot of those issues that Kapler had with his new school mindset. Like, I was hoping you'd find some sort of balance in there. But, like Lynn just pointed out, all of those mistakes right there, hitting with runners in scoring position, mental mistakes, all that falls on the coaching. I mean, I don't really know what you mean, but when saying they don't like the coach,
it's the players on the field. So yeah. I get what he's saying there. Like, it is the players on the field.
But it is, but it's also a result of coaching. I mean, you see, it's been brought up multiple times on social media where, there's a runner on third and a runner on first. A ground ball is hit to the pitcher, and rather than take the automatic out at home, and prevent the run scoring, they're going for the double play, and then they're throwing it in center field or they're throwing it wide of second base, and you're lucky to even get one guy. I mean, you saw that yesterday as well, and that's a common theme that you've seen for the majority of the season. That falls on coaching. That's a prime example right there. So it's little things like that. Now, is it, Bob's staff or is it Bob directly? Who knows, but they go hand in hand together. And you really got to evaluate these continuous mistakes. It's not like you're going through a few weeks of, okay, they're playing or they're messing up in this aspect for this amount of time. It's been all season long, and a lot of these go back to last year. So, you really got to make a tough decision.
Do you know how many times I see a guy on third with no outs and the hitter that comes up gets like a 96-mile-an-hour fastball right over the middle of the plate, first pitch, and they watch it? It's like, guys, stop trying to do more than you need to. Like, I get it. Everybody wants to hit homers and extra base hits and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, can we hunt our pitch early? Yeah. Can we actually be up there with a plan, not worried about getting a guy's pitch count up, not worry about any of this crap? So how about we worry about scoring runs? Mm-hmm. Like, let's start there. Like, we're reinventing the wheel here. And that's where I'm just, yes, the players need to execute 100%. But this coaching staff has these guys so ill prepared on a daily basis. I just, it's mind boggling. And I don't think they have a team full of idiots. I really don't. I think there are a lot of professionals on this team that have been around for a long time, and they still make mistakes that are just ridiculous.
The bottom line is this team is probably the most talented you've had since 2021. Let's be real. And they're on pace for, I believe Jeff Young posted it, like 76, 78 wins. And that's best case scenario. You're going to hit around 78 wins on the year with a lineup consisting of $230+ million worth of players, with the names of Matt Chapman, Willie Adames, Rafael Devers, Jung-Hoo Lee. Like, you've got these bigger names on these huge contracts, and you can only amount to 78 wins in a season?
Yeah.
Who is that a reflection of? Is that a reflection of the players? Clearly they're talented to an extent, or they wouldn't have earned those contracts, and their track record proves they're talented, so it's not a talent issue. So where's the common denominator if you have all these players that are struggling with the same things? It's the coaches, plain and simple.
Yeah, I mean, Lynn, like we just said, please feel free to explain why the Padres were a night and day different team the second he left that team. They were a shit show with him, with the most talent they ever had, and they got worse under him. And then they got better once he left. And, the other thing is, what are the alternatives here? Either A, you gut out Melvin and his coaching staff, who have not done a job. At the end of the day, it is a results-driven industry like all pro sports are. You either gut him, or what? You're going to get rid of Matt Chapman, Willie Adames, Elliot Ramos, Jung-Hoo Lee, Rafael Devers. Are you going to do that instead? No. Are you going to keep the status quo? Absolutely not. You are not going to keep the status quo with this expensive of a roster. You just can't do it. You are all in with your core group of guys that you have invested money in. And if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. And ultimately, you have to make changes. Yes, absolutely. Guys not hitting cutoffs and, guys popping up and striking out is on the players to an extent, 100%. But there is tons of evidence that there is a process issue with this team. There were numbers that came out just last week on Rafael Devers. His contact numbers went up with the Giants, but then his strikeout numbers also went up, meaning Rafael Devers is making more contact on the pitches he's swinging at, but he's also letting a ton of fastballs cross over the plate. And where does that come from? That comes from this team, because that is exactly what everybody else on this team does. You see it out of Chapman, you see it out of Lee, you see it out of Ramos. there is a consistent issue with this team and their process and how they approach at bats. Frequently, it comes down to this team sitting strictly on off-speed pitches almost every single game, and if they don't get that, they allow pitchers to consistently groove fastballs in over the heart of the plate, and you see them caught looking all the time. Strike three with a fastball over the heart of the plate. I mean, we saw Bailey do it 3-4 times in 2 games. We see it with so many of these players over and over. They are not ready to hit the fastball. They do not make in at-bat adjustments. It's the same process over and over and over. Another thing you see frequently is guys aren't laying down bunts. Guys aren't shortening up and, trying to hit the ball the other way. They're not stealing bags. It's all that stuff comes from the coaching. Ultimately, what is the manager there for other than setting the lineup? If he is not telling his players, when they need to change their approach on stuff, that absolutely comes from the coaching staff. You have 2 hitting coaches who set game plans up for these guys on how to attack the opposing starting pitcher. Clearly that process is broken. Their bench coach clearly isn't preparing them well for any kind of in-game situations. And then again, what is Melvin doing? He's obviously not firing them up because the players have had numerous players-only meetings. And like we said, we saw it with Willie and Bob in the dugout. Bob is completely blowing off his players, shows zero emotion whatsoever. So what exactly is Bob doing to warrant keeping his job? So that's where the changes start. And then for Buster, if he's doing an evaluation on this team right now going into the offseason and he's looking at how else he can make changes, it's possible that there are certain players that don't fit the brand of baseball that he wants this team to play. And those guys might be out too, even if it's a more popular player. It's going to be kind of hard to move off on some of these players because of their contract situations, unfortunately. But ultimately, if you have a certain brand of baseball you want your team to play, it definitely starts with the manager and it works its way down the roster.
Yeah.
And that's the only way things are going to change and this team's going to turn into, playing winning baseball again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always said, when it's the whole players versus coaches thing, individual situations, you look at one situation game to game, to me, it's the players on the field. You're a pro, do the job, right? But when it's a consistent issue, game to game, week to week, month to month, season to season, at this point, like Ricky said, that's a process problem. That's an issue with the process and what the coaching is, because they clearly do not have these guys prepared to do what they need to do. So that's where I shift the majority of the blame over towards the coaching at this point, because it has been going on for so long. So that's kind of how I fall on that stuff. If you're going one game to the next, yeah, you're gonna majority of the blame is gonna fall on the players. But it's been going on too long. It's just where I'm at.
Jerry.
And I would say the most telling thing of this season under manager Bob Melvin is being asked, what do you do, 2 weeks ago? And he flat out says he has no answers. In what line of work are you ever going to tell the people who pay your bills that you don't have answers on how to fix a problem? When is that ever going to fly in any line of work, and especially not in pro sports? That is never an acceptable answer. You're just admitting defeat a little over halfway into the season. That is just flat out unacceptable.
They were still 4 games out of the wild card.
Yeah, you're defeated. And going back on the players versus manager conversation, what does that tell the players? You have leaders who are wanting to listen and see, what's the answer? How are we going to turn this thing around? And my manager's showing no emotion and oppressor, and he's saying, yeah, I don't know what else to do. We've tried everything. It's who's getting fired up playing for that? And it shows on the field. Again, worst team in baseball since the All-Star break. It really, the on-field performance is all you need to see.
Yeah.
Jay, like this.
Yep.
We
Yeah,
might be
we're trying
using
to
that
use
one
more
for another
gifts now.
month.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
just save that one to.
It's funny because we'll be in the green room like 20 minutes before we go live, and Cody's like, "What do we think of this GIF?" And we're like brainstorming which ones to put.
I got another bumper sticker idea for you guys.
What is it?
Oh,
You guys
boy.
remember that ancient aliens meme with the guy saying aliens and holding his hands up?
Yeah.
Do that and put framing inside of it.
Perfect.
That's great. Oh man. All right. So is there anything where I don't know what we can touch on? Is there anything we want to see, between now and the end of the year, other than some of this?
That'd be fun to watch.
No, actually, a couple people brought up, very valid points. Ariel says, "Don't let Burl anywhere near Bryce right now." It's completely
Yeah.
fair.
No kidding.
Yeah. I wouldn't care. If they kept him down the rest of the year, that's totally fine. I think Sacramento's got what 4 more weeks after now or after this. Let him get another 100 and 100 to 115 or whatever at bats. Just keep working down there. I mean, he's having a really nice year overall. Keep getting the strikeouts down a little bit. It's been encouraging the last couple games. Actually been, yesterday had a home run off a lefty, which was nice to see. Yeah, did the guy hang it? Of course, but still lefty on left. That's promising. Today, obviously hit another late inning shot. He's going to have to keep improving, like to keep getting the bat on the ball consistently. But he's 20 years old. Like that's part of it. Now, I think it's a little crazy. Some people are like, "Oh, let him stay down there like most of next season too." I don't think they're going to do that. Personally, I don't think they're going to have this guy sitting down in AAA for, basically a year and a half. Maybe he does start the year down there. Maybe they try and play the service time game. We've laid it out why we don't feel like that makes sense. I think there's just too much reward, like potential reward, if he were to have like a, rookie of the year caliber season. But, we'll see. I mean, it's that certainly would excite the fan base if they did bring him up, whether it's ill-advised or not. That would certainly put a jolt in the fan base seeing him play.
It would help sell tickets right now.
That's exactly what I was just gonna say. I was like, I mean, it's honestly a testament to Giants fans that they're still selling, 30,000 plus seats a game with what a crap product they put out on the field. They're averaging like 2 runs a game at home now, if that.
They went 2 and 14 in their last 16 home games, and they still were 35,000 plus.
I mean, I can tell you right now, if Bryce gets called up, I mean, I'm probably going to try to find a way to get to a couple games just purely for the sake of watching him. If he doesn't come up, then probably a good chance I don't go to another game the rest of the year because it's not worth it, not the product that they put out. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't see Bryce staying in Sacramento all of next year for one simple reason. He does something that the entire major league team cannot do right now, and that's hit a damn straight fastball. I mean, if Bryce gets the cockshot fastballs that the Giants major league team is getting right now, he's going to hit a ton of bombs. I can tell you that much.
Here's the thing, though. What are you going to do when, not if, but when Bob Melvin pinch hits Wilmer Flores for Bryce Eldridge?
It'll happen.
In the 6th inning against the lefty.
There will literally, people will be ripping, stadium seats out of and throwing them on the field.
Hey, they did that at the last game of the Coliseum, remember? People started ripping them out of the concrete and just started walking out with them, and people are like, what is going on?
Oh, man. He won't throw him curveballs. Hey, but
you're not wrong. You're not wrong, Anthony.
they're gonna throw him off speed, but they also know the risk there because the two things that he's absolutely destroying right now are fastballs and any kind of hanging breaking ball. And if you throw too many, anybody that pitch, you throw too many breaking balls, you kind of get a little bit of tendency to hang one here and there. And you hang it, he bangs it. So yeah, he does. Does he need to improve? Absolutely. Like no one in this show is sitting here saying that he is a finished product by any stretch.
No.
But the reality is he's hitting the pit. He's punishing the pitches he should punish. And that's really like what it's about. Go watch an Aaron Judge highlight reel. And when he hit 62 or whatever a couple of years ago, and all I remember hearing people complain about was, oh, all he's doing is hitting the meatballs. And it's like,
what he's supposed to do.
What do you want him to do? Like, let those ones go by and try and hit a ball 6 inches off the ground out? Like, what are we doing here? Yeah, you get a mistake and you punish it. That's your job.
People tend to act like major league pitchers don't throw mistakes. The difference between the majors and like AAA, for example, is you're probably not going to get 2 or 3 mistake pitches in at bat. You're going to get one, and you've got to do something with it. Like the one like really glaring difference between like this team and some of those 2010 teams that comes to mind, even when they weren't scoring a ton of runs, is the Giants had a lot better hitters that actually took advantage of mistake pitches. Like I remember Juan Uribe, not a consistent hitter at all. Struck out all the time and wasn't the best hitter by any means that year he was at the Giants. But the one thing that dude did was crush mistakes up. And Pablo was another one. Pablo would kill mistakes.
Yeah.
The Giants just don't have a ton of guys that make guys pay for those mistake pitches. They watch too many good pitches. Yeah, they watch way too many good pitches go over the heart of the plate.
Yeah. It's just crazy. So I just give me somebody that if I see him hit plenty of good pitches that he, pitcher locates out on the outer half or, down around the knees. Like I've seen him hit plenty of pitches that are like not mistakes, so to speak, but it's just that's just the name of the game though. You get count leverage, you get a good pitch to hit, you do damage with it. Like that's what we want him to do. He actually, I believe he actually does pretty well against changeups, which is a good sign. It's just like curveballs have been kind of his big bugaboo. I know the changeup's down. He kind of struggles with that, but I think, 20 years old, he's going to keep developing his pitch recognition, picking up spin, all that good stuff. He's going to have to, he's going to have a bigger strike zone than most players in Major League Baseball. So it is going to be tough. The strikeouts are always going to probably be a thing. I'd love to see him draw a few more walks to go with that, just to be a little bit more selective, but I don't want him looking like the guys that we're seeing on the Major League roster. I don't want to see him up there watching stuff go by that's thigh high and just over the middle of the plate begging to be hammered. Like, I'm tired of that. You get your pitch. I don't care if it's the first pitch or the 8th pitch. Just hit it. I've reached the point with the Giants that I would rather see some pitcher go out there and go Greg Maddux on them and throw like a 72 pitch complete game shutout where they're actually swinging at good pitches to hit than another game of watching them watch balls that are like on a tee go by.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just damn.
Yeah, no kidding.
You
go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say I don't know what went on with Lucy. Unfortunately, I think someone might have mentioned it might have been a back thing, but I'm not positive.
I haven't seen anything. Just going off the Eldridge talk. Want to see if you guys have anything you want to say about this. Jay says, anyone else concerned? Eldridge is all they got to build their farm in time to compete in 3 years from now. I really fear them considering a deal of 4 or 5 prospects for him.
I mean, three years is a long time. That's definitely enough time for other top prospects they have to come up. So I don't totally agree with that. I actually heard that idea. I think it was yesterday on KMBR after the game. I think it was Dieter Kurtenbach actually brought that idea up, and it just makes no sense.
Stir in the pot.
It just makes no sense. And in all fairness, that that guy poor guys got to find something to talk about after a game when they're just doing the same thing over and over. You know, it's a talking point, but there's absolutely no reason why the Giants would do that, because no team is going to trade a 4 to 5 top prospects for one top prospect. Like, that just doesn't make any sense. That's not going to be equal value for them, and it's not going to make sense for the Giants either. It's just there's no reason the Giants would do that just to add depth into the system at a point where the system's already kind of trending up with a lot of guys in the lower levels. So you're not going to get 4 to 5 big league ready top prospects, or even 2 or 3 for Bryce. Like, it's just not going to make sense for either team to do a deal like that. Like, take a team like the Detroit Tigers, for example, just throwing a random team out there. They have 3 really high-end top prospects. They're all pretty close to the big leagues. They're all at AA right now, I believe. One of them might be in AAA. They're not going to trade those 3 guys for Bryce, because take positions out of it. Regardless, they're not going to do that. It just doesn't make sense for them. And then the Giants probably don't do that either.
Yeah,
you know, because assuming that they have the same level of belief in Bryce that we think they have.
The Giants haven't had a 30 home run player in 21 years, soon to be 22 years, or 20, soon to be 21 years. I don't see a universe in which they're like, hey, you know, we got this guy that's got possibly the best raw power of any prospect in Major League Baseball. He's blown through the minor leagues at 20 years old. Let's trade him. Yeah. Not with the amount of money. I mean, that at the end of the day, like, just think of the money they're going to make, and the you know, this is a potential box office type player when you're talking the Cove and everything, and him hitting bombs in the Cove. I mean, it's the San Francisco Giants. I mean, this is a historic franchise that has had some of the greatest power hitters the game's ever seen, and they've had no 30 homer guys in 20 years. I can't see the ownership in them going, yeah, let's trade him. Let's not take a chance on the guy that can, you know, potentially fill the Cove again and turn this place into a nightly sellout that everybody wants to see. Is he going to hit a bomb today? Like, I have a hard time picturing that. And I really don't think the team is, you know, miles away from being competitive. Obviously, I thought they would win like 86 games this year. This team was 12 games over 500 at one point.
They were on pace for 103.
Yeah, they were. They were 12 games over 500. You know, 60 or 70 games into the season, around the midway point, they're around 10 games over. I mean, you don't do that if you're just a terrible baseball team. Like, I could see it for a couple weeks or for a month even, but I mean, they had a good record for half the year, if not a little bit more. Obviously, it's just the bottom is completely fallen out on this team. So yeah. It is, you know, that is what it is. We'll see. I mean, if Bryce is as good as you hope he is, and the Giants hope he is, I mean, do we really think that this team's going to be bad with Bryce Eldridge and Rafi Devers in the middle? If he's what they hope, and I get it, it's a huge if, but also the talk is trading him for more ifs. You know, like you're trading him for 3 prospects that are probably, or 2 or 3 prospects that probably none of them are the caliber of prospect as him. Yeah. To me, that makes 0 sense. You have veterans to trade if that's what you want to do for depth.
For sure.
So, amen to that. Let's see. Let's get.
Yeah. Davidson's in AA. I mean, we'll do a quick rundown, and you guys tell me if I miss anything here. You've got Bo Davidson. He's in AA. Obviously, Josh Ward. He's in the summer league. He's going to be probably in the complex league next year. Those are 2 top 100 prospects. You have Johnny Level, who's probably going to be a top 100 prospect if I had to bet money this offseason, whenever they do the re-rankings. He's also in San Jose. So yeah, I get it. It's a lot in the lower levels, but those guys are going to be moving up. Also in San Jose, you've got Jacob Bresnahan. I think and these are guys that I think are top 100 caliber. You have Bresnahan, Kayama, Keener Martinez, De La Torre. Like, these are guys with that kind of talent. Even Keelan, as much as a lot of people, us included, weren't like a fan of that as a pick, he's a first round pick that was a consensus first round pick. Like people didn't really view him as overdrafted. It was just not our philosophical preference. That's a guy with a top 100 potential. The guy they're about to sign in the international signing period Luis Hernandez is going to be the number one prospect in that signing period, assuming everything goes through with his deal with the Giants. He's been playing in a Venezuelan professional league against guys like 10 years older than him and dominating. Like, that's going to probably be like Joshua and another top 100 prospect. And not to say all these guys are going to turn into good players, but this is just, it's asset accumulation. It's bettering your farm system. It's giving you more tradable assets. That is how you have, ammo to, make trades to bring guys in. So that's where, like, I don't think it makes sense to move Bryce because this farm system is very clearly on the upswing. So you have plenty of other guys that you can move. Not the guy that's knocking on the door, ready to come up or almost ready to come up.
Yeah, for sure. And then picking back off of the Luis Hernandez comment, Ariel asks any shot that he sticks at shortstop, considering you have Joshua and Johnny Level already in the system.
I think he will. Just because I don't think him and Joshua are going to be playing at the same level, probably at any point, unless Joshua like really gets accelerated through all the lower levels. Johnny Level will probably bump over to second base. I mean, he's kind of already been doing that. And then Luis Hernandez will be probably, 2-3 years behind him. So I would definitely say at every level, he'll probably be the starter, kind of like how Maui Ahuna was every time he was at a level. He was the guy that they put there.
Yeah. I think ultimately down the road, you might see him move to like second base or something. I mean, the reality is only one guy can play short. So if Johnny Level, Keelan, Luis Hernandez and Joshua, if they all advance, through the system and they're all playing really well and they're making a push for the major leagues, like they're going to end up having to either trade dudes, move guys to new positions. Like not everybody can play short. So I think Joshua, Maui's probably the best defensive shortstop in the system. I think Joshua of the big prospects is got probably the best opportunity to stick at shortstop as like an elite defensive potential. But yeah, it doesn't mean like a guy like Luis couldn't stick there. If you watch, he likes to post, especially defense. If you go on his Instagram, he posts like highlights all the time and stuff. He likes to post defensive highlights of himself. So you can tell he prides himself there, and the movement looks good. Everything, the arm looks solid overall. I don't see anything that concerns me that he couldn't play, but granted it's highlights. You're not getting to see him play every pitch, every ground ball that he takes, anything like that. So it is tough. I don't think maybe his range looks like it's top tier when it comes to shortstops, but look at Willie. He's not got elite range, and he's been an above average shortstop on the entirety of the season. It's very good if you throw out April. So
yeah, agreed. Now on the defensive talk, Ed asked this about Schmidt's defense. He says that throwing error is mainly due to lack of repetition at third. I think that plays a factor in it.
Yeah.
They were training him to play second, and then Chappie goes down and says, all right, you got to go for third. I played both positions for 10 plus years. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. He made some bad plays. It is what it is. It's tough when you get bounced around, but it's still, it's not really any excuse. Like, he still needs to make the throws, but he has had it rougher than most players in the Giants system in that he has almost never gotten to just stay at a position.
Yeah.
And play there, post there every day. And not every guy can do that. And I think very highly of his glove, and he might not be a guy that you can just bounce around all the time. He needs to, for his glove to be at its potential, he may just need to be able to post somewhere every game.
And something that nobody's bringing up, yes, these are professional players, but both of those two plays were not easy by any means.
Yeah.
Especially considering who was at play. I mean, you're charging in off balance, throwing off your right foot, trying to nail a guy like Fernando Tatis, and you sailed it right. I mean, it's not like it's a routine ground ball that you're just airmailing. I mean, they were not easy plays by any means. Should they be made? Absolutely. But I feel like that's still something that isn't really being discussed. The difficulty of those plays there is.
They're definitely more difficult plays. I will say there's one of them I can't really defend him on because he made a throw on a guy that was basically already safe.
That one, yeah. Shouldn't have even thrown that one.
That was clear as day. That was a bad throw, bad decision he made.
2 errors in one play.
Yeah, exactly. 2 errors in one play. The other thing I would say, just my opinion on a couple of those, I also felt like the first basemen in those situations, a couple of them could have helped him out a little bit more and came off the bag earlier. It was a little bit strange that the one where he made the throw way too late, Dom Smith didn't come off the bag because Dom is very solid over there. And then I will say, I believe it was the one today. Christian Koss was actually the one covering first. So that also throws another wrench in that where, yes, he needs to make a better throw 100%, but also doesn't help. You don't have a natural first baseman over there who is used to coming off the bag early to save that. And then if you need to, turning back and swiping at the runner as they cross by, or you miss them, but you at least save a run or a guy advancing to second. So I definitely think there could be a little bit better all around defense on a couple of those, but hey, at least he hit a bomb.
Yeah, for sure.
He hit a bomb.
There's value to playing multiple positions. He has value playing all infield positions. I mean, the reality is he's our starting second baseman.
Yeah.
Like, he earned that job. He won that job. Now, did Fitzgerald also fall on his face? Yes, of course he did. That's part of how that opening became a thing. But, Casey came in and took that job. So, yes, there is value. But there's also value in him being the starting second baseman where he has been their best option this season. So, Koss can be your utility guy. It's just, it is what it is because Chapman's hurt, and Chapman's usually a guy that posts 150 plus games a year, and they need Casey at third. But like Ricky said, the throw, I think the one that was very inexcusable was the one that he kicked and then he tried to pick it up and throw it, and it just compounded the mistake.
Just doing too much. That's all it is.
Yeah, today's wasn't horrible, but it's tough.
And he gets hit by pitch no kidding. That dude cannot catch a break when it comes to
him and Ramos,
stand on the plate.
Both of
them. they are on the plate, but their pitchers don't do anything to defend these guys. It's brutal. But yeah, I think it's we're after 10 o'clock. Probably could wrap this up at this point.
Last thing I wanted to bring up before we call it, it's a good way to end it. Predictions for Wiz tomorrow.
Perfect game. No.
Realistically, I'd be happy if we get 5 innings out of him, 3 runs allowed. Yeah. I'd be happy with that.
Who we got tomorrow? Is it Milwaukee?
Milwaukee.
That's why I'm saying I'd be happy with 3.
Yeah.
I think I'll go 5. And if I'm being really honest, how I feel, it's going to be 4 innings and 3 runs. But
look at the bright side. The Brewers are throwing a lefty tomorrow. How excited does that make you guys?
Oh God!
So if I turn the game on in the 6th, we might score from there out, or the 7th. But all right, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Appreciate everybody for jumping in here.
Wait, there's a lefty start. That means Wilmer's gonna play. Damn it.
Well, he's throwing a little league yard, so he might have a chance of another pop-up homer.
Another 96 mile per hour exit velocity home run.
Oh, I was gonna say 85 exit velo. It's just hanging in the air forever. Just insane launch angle.
Yeah. Premium. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up for today. Yeah, anybody that's there's like 157 or so of you guys in here. We really appreciate you guys stopping by this week. I know it was tough. Another rough week of baseball after multiple other rough weeks of baseball. So that's never fun. But as Jenny says here, we are almost to 2,000 subscribers. We are, I think, 24, 23 away at this time. So if you do enjoy the content, please do hit that like, hit that subscribe, all that good stuff. We're going to be doing a giveaway, maybe even 2 items. We'll see. During when we hit 2K, we would love to do that on next week's live show. So if you guys can get us there before then, it'll be on next week's. If we don't get there until after the live show, it'll be on the following week. I'm hoping we don't have to rack it, wait too much longer for this, but that's the plan. So if you guys can't do that, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Also, I did mention we're going to nail down a time, but I am going to be hopping on Sunday night over on Glenn Kuiper's show. So go check that out. We'll hopefully he can bring the positivity out of me on that show. Hopefully we get some good baseball at some point versus Milwaukee. I have no faith that we're not about to get swept in Milwaukee, but hey, stranger stuff has happened. We'll see.
Amen to that.
So. 20 wins in a row. Here we go.
We still wouldn't even be in a playoff spot.
Last September, Chapman promised we'd be in the playoffs this year, so don't forget.
Is he throwing out the first pitch for a team? Does that count?
He's been fantastic in the second half.
Yeah.
We appreciate his efforts.
He's been hurt. I know. On there.
Jay, if you want, you can catch the recordings on Spotify. If you want all the updates, you can follow Cody at EYDShow on X. Or if you want a lot more, clips and pictures and everything you can imagine Giants in their farm, you can follow Ricky sfgiantscove on Instagram. And if you want to get mad and see a bunch of sarcasm, you can follow me, KManDanEYD, on X.
Just don't take him seriously.
Guys, stop taking me seriously.
Yeah, please stop. I had to go in there and tell somebody that he's trolling the other day. I was like, calm down, man. It was just brutal. So, all right, guys. Appreciate y'all, and we'll see you next week.